Good morning and welcome to episode 6 of Coffee with the Colonel live. Today is Friday, May 1st, and we are addressing questions today about the subjects of end-of-year activities, what this quarter means to my cadets, and what will next year look like. Joining me in the panel this morning are SMA Colonel Bowman, Executive Director, SMA Lieutenant Colonel Williams, 11th and 12th grade Assistant Head of School, and SMA Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Rodriguez, 9th and 10th grade Assistant Head of School. I am SMA Colonel Fouts, Head of School at the high school, and I would like to welcome our 8th grade SMA prep parents joining us today on this live broadcast, and I hope that you find this information useful and gain some insights about being an SMA high school parent. Quick shout out to our SMA soccer team. I'm wearing your gear today, looking good. We miss seeing you all, and I can't wait to see another game soon. As we go into this broadcast, if you have any questions, please type them into the comments, and our very own live producer, the lovely Angela Cohen, will relay those to us throughout the program. Cadets, if you want to give a shout out to your favorite staff member or teacher, please go ahead and put that in the comments, and we'll throw those out as well. We are going to begin with some insights and perspectives from our A team on e-learning from the parents' perspective. As you know, myself, Colonel Williams, and Colonel Rodriguez, we all have school-aged children. Colonel Rodriguez actually has one in SMA, so it'll be interesting to hear her take. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over at this point to Lieutenant Colonel Williams.
Good morning, everyone. So glad to see everyone here and be with you again. So, as the A team, we've been talking about this e-learning and, how we kind of got thrown into this situation as school administrators, as teachers, students, and all of that. But, yesterday we had this very lengthy discussion about the parents and how they really got thrown into this homeschool / e-learning thing. And we were talking about it, and I have 2 elementary school aged kids, and my husband is also an educator. So, my kids, obviously, you would think they might have a little bit of an advantage having 2 parents at home, that are educators. But let me just tell you that e-learning is rough. It is rough for the kids. It is rough for the parents. Education was never meant to be virtual. We want you to have that connection with the teachers and the students and have those interpersonal interactions and things like that. So, education was never meant to be this way. And so, we just wanted to make sure, and definitely from my perspective, that we understand where you're coming from, that this is not easy. No, none of us chose this. If we had, obviously we could have done Florida virtual school or anything like that, but that's not what we choose for our kids nor our careers. And so, we just want to let you know that we understand from a parent point of view as well, that this is a very difficult situation. And for all of you parents that are out there stressing every day and everything, we applaud you for any effort, anything that you're trying to do to better your students, to help them with their education, because it is not easy. And we want you to understand that we understand where you're coming from and know that we sympathize with you every day when we are begging our kids to get online for e-learning and do this assignment. And we beg, borrow, or steal over here. I bribe you with candy. Like, you give me 30 minutes on the computer, you can have some candy. So please understand that we know where you're coming from, and we appreciate all your efforts in helping your students be successful during this very unprecedented time.
Making this type of thing happen is definitely a partnership effort. It is not simply the school doing this. There's no way we could do this without the help of the parents and the grandparents and everybody in the home, because that's the only way our kids are going to get through this. I know myself, I have a fourth grade student who's in a public school in Manatee County. Now, we were very fortunate that they had enough Chromebooks that even my daughter could get one, and we're certainly not a family of need. But even so, we're dealing with space. You know, my wife's a teacher. I'm an administrator. She's a student, and we have a college-age student who's also doing all of her classes are online now, and it's okay. It's a strain on our internet. It's also a strain on our space. You know, I did that video this past week about making creating a positive space for learning in your home. Well, you notice it was in our living room because you want your kid to be out there where you can observe them and all that kind of stuff. And that's hard when you've also got daddy over here doing a live broadcast, mommy over there talking to a student on Google Meet, and it's a struggle. We know this, and then you've got all these online tools that are added in, and it took us a while to figure out she was missing a lot of assignments, and a lot of it was not only were the teachers learning how to navigate all these different tools they're trying to put into place, so are the kids, so are us as parents, and it is definitely a struggle. Dr. Rodriguez, how's it going with your SMA cadets?
Well, good morning, everybody. Glad to be here. Katiana, you know, she's a junior at SMA, and I come from a different perspective. You know, teenagers in high school, their expectation is for them to be more accountable for their work. They don't need mom and dad to be, you know, looking over their homework, and they have that freedom to do what they need to do because that's the right thing to do. You know, I'm fortunate to have a daughter who loves to do her work, and she does everything, but I still, as a parent, have to remind her, you know, hey, did you check on Google Classroom for AP, or did you check with your teacher? And she said, okay, Mom, I'll do it later. I said, you know, come on, get it. So I do have to still remind her to do stuff. And she does her own. She's 17, you know, that's the expectation. But not every teenager is like that, right? I have a different son that needed more reminders if he would have been in this predicament at the high school. So I see it also as kind of like learning tools. Like the cell phone is there's more things in the cell phone than social media. So, you know, we've learned together a lot of things. I want to give this to all the parents out there. So if your student wants to scan something for their teacher in their smartphone, there's Notes, you know. There's an application that's called Notes, and you go into Notes, do a new page, and there's a camera, and you just click on that camera and it scans the document for them, and they can just send it through Google Classroom. There's so many applications in the smartphone that they can use to attach and upload to Google Classroom, to email that. I mean, she's like, Mom, look what I learned. This is what I did a YouTube video, or the teacher showed me how to do this. So I'm learning with her different things. Other than that, you know, she's doing more like college research. She's doing like more learning for herself, like calligraphy. So there's things that our teenagers can do that is unstructured, and they can focus on things that interest them. So again, she's a good girl. I'm very fortunate. I just say I'm an educator myself, so I tell parents that are not in education, just check in, you know, look at the Google Classroom. You know, you can't see the grades in Crosspoint anymore, but you can check on your student and check the work that they're doing and tell them, hey, tell me a little bit about that. What did you learn about that? Okay, cool. So that's the kind of interaction that I'm having with my own kids.
So that's great insight. And I have to remind everybody, we're in this virtual situation now, but learning is a social, it's a social task. It's a social construct. And the best way to learn is through the interaction with others. And that's a lot more difficult in this online environment. And we do want them to use every tool that they have. Keeping them motivated is difficult. There is a lot more on the student. They have to do a lot more than just sitting in the classroom and listening to a lecture and taking notes and regurgitating on a test. Okay, it's much more student driven in this type of a format. And honestly, they need to get used to that, because that's what college is all about. And every college today has blended classes that they're going to be taking, or full online classes. Colonel Bowman, you have any insight after hearing these parents complain?
No, and we'll talk a little bit about this in a little while, but it is unprecedented times, and I'll talk a little bit about what we think the next year might bring, how we will communicate with the parents over the summer and such. But everyone is doing what they know how to do. And, you can only control what you can control. And it takes a lot of patience. And I'll talk a little bit about courage in a little while as well.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's go now to Ms. Cohen. Do we have any questions from our audience or shout outs from cadets?
Yes, well, a lot of shout outs. Everyone's waving hi, missing their admin team. But I do have a question. They're wondering about plans to recognize the kids graduating from SMA, both from the prep and the high school. They've seen that other schools have received posters or flags or something to put on their yard. Are we doing anything similar to that?
Oh my gosh, we have so much to tell you about that. And Colonel Williams is all ready to go. You want to go ahead and address that one question, ma'am?
Yes, so I am happy to report, thank you all for your feedback on the survey for graduation options. And after compiling the data, it was it was overwhelming that the vote was to postpone graduation. So we have officially booked graduation to be July 24th at 7 p.m. At Bayside Community Church, the same place we were going to have it. So we have already booked that. We also are looking to have, hopefully, and again, all of these plans that we have for these seniors, we have been working really hard to try to make things special for them. But, our hands are very tied with regulations and things right now. So for right now, we are hoping to have a senior week, that week of graduation. We are hoping to have prom on July 22nd, which is a Wednesday. I know it's weird, but, this whole situation's weird. So why not have prom on a Wednesday? And then graduation on Friday. And hopefully, if everything's okay, we can maybe even have Senior Beach Day that week as well, and try to kind of come together and wrap up this wonderful class and these accomplishments. So July 24th, I will be putting that out on Facebook. We'll put it on the website. I'm going to do a message for the seniors because we're really excited to finally be able to announce it. I know also that one of the big questions has been about refunds. As of right now, the only thing that we have canceled has been Grad Bash. And so we're kind of waiting to see what happens with prom to see what kind of refunds we need to do. So we only have to do refunds once. So we'll let you know about that as far as refunds go. The other thing that we have that we're really excited about is May 14th, and we'll also be putting that out on Facebook and the webpage and in my senior message. May 14th, we're going to have all of the seniors do a drive-through to school, and we are going to have them pick up their caps and gowns. We're going to have them pick up their yearbooks, drop off their uniforms, And we are also going to be having them pick up a customized yard sign for SMA for our graduates so that they can proudly display that at their residence and, be really excited and proud of where they're graduating from so that we can, kind of publish that to the public. We're so proud of them and happy. So that's going to be May 14th. We are going to do that. And again, I'll be putting that on Facebook for times. We'll put that in the Eagle Weekly. We'll put that out in the senior message. So make sure that your senior communicates with you as far as times go and things like that. But we're going to be having a drive-through. Nobody will have to get out of their car or anything like that. And we're going to have a parade. We'll have teachers there cheering them on and things like that. So we're really excited about that. And then, so that will be May 14th. Did I cover everything?
You did. I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the mean guy that throws a little cold water on everything because I have to remind you that these well-laid plans are only applicable if we have the ability to do them. So if at that point the CDC still has us in very limited contact with others and group sizes, we will of course have to shift to one of our other plans. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Colonel Williams, I believe the second choice was a drive-through graduation, probably at Frederickson Park with the big screen and all that kind of stuff. That may be another option should the regular graduation happen. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, so I have to confirm that specific date with them as well. Since we just booked the church yesterday, I just need to make sure that they're available as well. And so I will confirm that to see, kind of have a tentative. But we will make a decision about live in-person graduation during the first week of July so that people will have time to plan for whatever. And also, just one other thing. I know we have a few seniors that are planning to ship out before that graduation would happen. So if your senior is one of those, please have them contact myself, Captain Scott or Captain Geimer or whatnot. We have a special plan kind of set up for them because we want them to be able to have the memories, the photographs and things like that. So I think we have about 4 or 5 in that situation. So if you could have yourself or your student have them contact me directly or Captain Scott or Captain Geimer so that we can make sure that we honor those cadets as well.
Yes, we do have a plan for that. Obviously, we have very strict restrictions right now. We can't have more than 10 people together at a time. So we want to make sure that family is there. A couple people from the school, myself and Colonel Bowman, and probably Colonel Weiss, to recognize you. We want to have a professional photographer there and a nice setting and backdrop, as well as somebody going live, so that it also can be shared to your family all over the world. So we'll make sure that is taken care of, especially to honor the sacrifices that these young cadets are making for our country. And I thank them, can never thank them enough. As a veteran and active Army reservist, I welcome them to the Brotherhood. And I couldn't be more proud. Any follow-up comments on graduation activities?
Well, no, not on graduation, but I do have a few other questions that popped up.
Excellent.
Okay, so I have Ms. Tara is wondering if there's a plan to incorporate distant learning for next school year.
There definitely is. And I'm going to start first with, because we need to talk about our situation a little bit and what this is going to make next year look like, or what it could make it look like, and what we need to be prepared for. So I'm going to first turn this over to Colonel Bowman to kind of address that, where we need to keep our focus.
Well, thank you, Fount. First and foremost, we are keeping a close watch on everything that the CDC is recommending. We've got a little intel with our outreach director as well, Dr. Brown. He has a little bit of insight into everything. But first and foremost, the priority is and always will be the safety and well-being for our cadets to be on campus, for our employees to be on campus. So the teams, directed the teams a little over a week ago to start working with one another to look at different options for the fall, whether that's distance learning, continuing with that, maybe some blended learning, also looking at what some of the other states are doing, some of the other districts are doing. Some things are not going to be possible for SMA to do, so we can't do a morning and an afternoon session with cadets, but there are a lot of different options that are available. I believe in the team and putting great options together, but also knowing that the teams are going to reach out to the cadets and reach out to the families to see in this period of time what's worked well during the distance learning and what has been troubling and how can we fix that, but also getting their input, getting some surveys out there and giving them some ownership of what that might look like in the fall. If possibly, one scenario could be we return for remote learning for the first semester, and then we look at where we are with CDC for the second semester. So there are no answers right now. Everything is unknown. This is, we don't have the answers to everything, and every day brings new information, and it also brings new questions as well. So please know that the teams are working on this. You are in good hands with what they're looking at. We will be ready to support the cadets in every way possible. But also, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you thank you, to tell all of the families, our employees, our cadets, all the supporters of SMA, because I've been with SMA for 10 years now, and we've had 3 words: respect, honor, and integrity. But looking forward, I want to add a 4th word to that, and that's courage. Because our families, our cadets, now I want to get emotional here, our administrators, our board of directors, it took a lot of courage to move immediately into this distance learning. And it is painful because we want to be with everyone. I miss saying good morning to our cadets every day and them saying good morning to me before I can get to it. That's always my goal. But I want to add moving forward the word courage, because everyone, every person, every cadet, every family member, we're in this together, and we keep hearing that, but it has taken a great amount of courage. And I applaud each and every one of you. And so my goal moving forward is it will be respect, integrity, honor, and courage. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So let's talk a little bit about, well, what does that look like? You know what it looks like right now because we're in the middle of it. We're experiencing it. Let me remind you that what we're doing right now is emergency e-learning, okay? We had to throw this together at the last minute. We have adjusted some policies to make sure nobody gets truly hurt by this, and I'll talk a little bit about that later at some point about grading and so forth right now. But next year, we're going to be prepared to do fully online learning. And we can adjust that back and have more of a blended classroom, which means that kids would spend a lot of time online and still have a little bit of time with in-person classrooms. But we have to, when we look at blended learning, we have to think about limitations and restrictions, like how many people we can have in a classroom. If we can only have 10 people in the classroom and they have to be 6 feet apart, it's going to be a very different kind of schedule. It's not going to be your normal high school. It's just not going to look like high school anymore, like we know it, right? And that's something we're going to have to come to terms with. And certainly, we're putting a lot of time and effort and plans for professional development and making sure we have the right equipment and all that kind of stuff to do a lot of online learning, which means basically a flipped classroom. Teachers are going to be providing lectures via video, and every cadet's going to have to be online and participating. It's right now we have a very lax, very understanding expectation for participation and so forth. We're just trying to get something out of them, some kind of connection and all that weekly basis, participation in order to have. But that is going to be, our expectations are going to be much more stringent if we go into the beginning of the next school year. There will be online discussions that they have to participate in, and Google Meet and so forth. Individual meetings via online with their instructors to get that one-on-one help. Online submission of all assignments, right? And online and hard copy instructional materials. So there may be, if we start at the beginning of the year, there may be a pickup day where all ninth graders will come on one day and get their English textbook and their math textbook and all these kinds of things, and that's what things are going to look like. This is just something we're working on, these plans. We're working on making sure our teachers have everything they need, and we will have ongoing trainings for you, the parent, on how to make this happen in your home. Because I'm afraid that this is just going to be what education is going to look like, and this is what we have to be prepared for it to look like moving forward until we are able to get a handle on this pandemic, basically. Do we have anybody want to have, I'm still hopeful, and every one of us in this is still hopeful that we go back to the traditional way, right? We hope that this problem is solved and we have those morning formations. Oh my gosh, I miss those so much. And there's so many faces that I just miss seeing, even ones that drove me crazy sometimes, Command Sergeant Major's knuckleheads. I miss those knuckleheads, right? They're his knuckleheads, but I love that, and those relationships are hard to do online like this, and it's really our personal feelings is we want everything back the way it was. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that's not exactly how it's going to look. Angela, do we have any further questions?
Yes. And just want to also take this time to share with you, a lot of parents are in agreement. Their students are missing SMA in a big way. So,
oh my God.
Yes, and
all
so
right,
are the parents. So they appreciate everything that you're doing as an admin team. So we do have a question here. They are wondering when they will be receiving next year's schedule from the counselors.
Oh, good question. Colonel Williams.
Hello. So we have run the scheduler, but for next year. But one of the issues that we have, I know, as of I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, we had 49 seniors who had not filled out a course request next year. I think it was like 68 juniors.
That's next year's seniors, right?
Yeah, rising seniors. Yes. About 68 rising juniors. So if your cadet has not filled out a course request, please, any grade level, please, they are all on the website. Fill them out, send them to the counselors, and we will get those input, because it's very hard for us to put the schedule together. We have done that. We have run it, but those numbers aren't obviously at this point. So, please make sure. But typically, the schedule for next year does not you'll have a good idea, but they don't open the portal until like July, normally, the district, to see next year's schedule. So if you have questions about it, you can contact your counselor. But if you haven't filled out a course request or your child hasn't, please make sure that they do that so that we can get an accurate count of kids and courses and things like that. And Colonel Fout, go ahead.
Yeah, just so if you have some technical difficulties trying to print off that course request form and doing it that way, One thing you can do is just make your selections looking at it, type it in an email to your counselor. Go ahead and CC your grade level administrator so we know you did it, either Colonel Rodriguez or Colonel Williams, and that way we can make sure your selections are in there. That is key. If you have any questions, well, what should I take? And if you're questioning about, well, you know, I'm interested in the medical field, what should I do? Please reach out to one of us. Reach out to your counselor. We have options for you that can really set you up for great things in the future. And we want to make sure you're on the right track for success to be all you want to be. All right? Angela?
That is it right now. They're very excited that you are attending a graduation. Very excited. So
Awesome. Do we have
hands
any
down
shout-outs?
from students as well as parents. So
Okay.
But-
You want to give us some?
that is it as of now. Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we do have some other topics to discuss really quickly. We talked about the big thing, which is what next year could possibly look like. I think we kind of let's go ahead and talk about the pickup and drop-off line on May 14th and 15th. Colonel Rodriguez, Dr. Rodriguez, can you help us out there?
Sure. So Colonel Williams already discussed the pick up and dropout for seniors. That is Thursday, May 14th. You're going to be in your cars, and you're going to enter through Orange Street from the main gate, and then I guess the distribution dropout will be towards, you will exit through the street, if I'm not mistaken. So seniors is May 14th, but any other student, 9th graders, 10th graders, and 11th graders right now will be Friday, May 15th. So that is Friday, May 15th, mayo 15, el viernes. Students from 9th and 10th and 11th, noveno, décimo y once, you can bring your uniforms, drop it off, and then you can textbooks for your teachers, any unmet, anything that belongs to SMA for the rest of the student population. That will be the day to drop it off. And I believe if they purchased the yearbook, they can pick up the yearbook as well, May 15th, for students that are not seniors. Colonel Williams.
Just want to make a little note about uniforms. If you are returning to SMA next year and the grade level, you do not need to bring your uniforms back. You can keep them. Typically before school starts, in the past, we've had about a week or two before school starts. If your uniform doesn't fit anymore, whatever, you can come into supply and switch them out. But if you are planning on attending SMA next year, you do not need to bring and drop off your uniforms. You can keep those over the summer.
And so the biggest thing for the underclassmen, the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, is returning textbooks, library books. If you have library books, please bring those in because we need to have a good, clear inventory of our library and know what we need to reorder, and that tells us what kind of money we have left over to order new books. So if you don't bring in those books, that means we need to reorder them, which takes away the amount of money we use to purchase new books. There's lots of things that you may have that you need to return or so forth. We want to make sure that we give you that opportunity to do that. Also for seniors, all of our teachers and staff members are looking forward to the 14th just to see your beautiful faces, even if it's behind the glass of a car window. We're going to be there. We're going to cheer you on. We can't wait for you to get that yard sign. We can't wait to hand out those caps and gowns, the yearbooks. We cannot have you gathering around to sign yearbooks. I'm sorry. It's just not safe. At some point, in the future, we hope to have a yearbook party. Maybe we can combine that with the beach day or whatever, and make that happen. Because I know how important that is. I know, when I was in my 20s, we had a house fire, and I lost my yearbook and all those signatures and notes from friends, and it's like, oh my gosh, that still breaks my heart, and I know how important that is to you. But we really have to be careful of this situation we're in, and we have to make sure that you're safe at all times. And you are the first person who has to take that responsibility to say, no, I can't get with a bunch of people. I don't know. And just think about your friend who may have an elderly relative living with them at home, and the risk that you could be putting somebody like that into. And that's what we have to keep on the top of our mind all the time. Did I miss anything on pick up and drop off?
I have a few questions that came in regarding that, if you don't mind. Okay, they're wondering what time, the 14th, the drive-by, as well as do the seniors need the $20 that they normally do for dropping off their uniform? And a parent was asking, sorry, just going to get them out at once. And a parent was asking if it's possible to do a flag ceremony for the seniors.
So, one, the times I will let you guys know, because we're going to divide up the alphabet and do times via alphabet for that. It'll just expedite the pickup and drop off a little quicker, and then obviously that way we can kind of control the crowds a little better as well. So I will put that out. Also, no, don't worry about the $20. Just bring your uniform garbage. You can bring them in a garbage bag or whatever. Just drop everything at once. And as far as the flag ceremony, we haven't talked. We don't know exactly the details if we will be doing that or having that, but that's definitely something that we can talk about.
Any input, Colonel Bowman?
Well, we're trying to work on a remote formation flag ceremony. So we've been working with Colonel Weiss and some of the JROTC instructors to try to get that underway. It's,
that the traditions at SMA are powerful. And it's especially during a time like this when we can't practice that daily tradition that it becomes so much more clear how powerful those are to us and what that means to us. And I know with parents there attending a formation with the raising of the flag and so forth, it's really, you can see it in their face. And afterwards when you talk to them and shake their hands. Unfortunately, now we can't even shake your hand, and that's how this whole thing has really put a lot of emotional stress on a lot of us, and you included, and we understand that. We hope to figure out some way to do a virtual formation or something along that lines. We will try to have something figured out with that very shortly. I know the JROTC team is trying to figure that out, because if anybody understands the power of that, it's certainly a retired hero like one of our Army instructors. Did we hit all those questions, Angela, or can you go back over a couple of them?
That was everything.
I do need to talk a little bit about the rest of this school year. As you know, it is May 1st. Technically, end of the year is May 29th, but here's our schedule. We want all assignments turned in no later than May 22nd. That way, so if you've got kids who still have a lot of makeup stuff to get done, have them really start working on that hard. We need to have grades in by May 29th. However, that last week, finals week, we know there are no assessments, but we're doing finals in a different kind of way. Our finals is going to be the last opportunity for this school year for these classes to get together in Google Meets and hosted by their teacher, just to really have that social aspect again, retouch with all their classmates, try to end this in a very, very positive manner. We're going to put out a clear schedule for you, but I'll give you a heads up. That is Memorial Day week, so Monday is obviously no school, and I hope and pray that you do something virtually or at home to honor our fallen service members and our first responders and all of those who have done so much sacrificing everything for our country and for our health and wellness. Make sure you do something at home. Even if you just have a little flag, go out in your front yard together, say a prayer, sing a song. We will have something virtually going on. Absolutely try to do that. But then on Tuesday, we'll start with all first and second period A day. We'll have Google Meets. Wednesday, third and fourth period A day. And then Friday and Saturday are going to be the big days, or Thursday and Friday will be the big days. First and second period block classes and B day will be on Thursday. Third and fourth period block classes and B day will be on Friday, and those will be Google Meets. They'll only probably be about an hour long, but I know sometimes when teachers have had these Google Meets with whole classes, they've gone for a long time. So we'll block off lots of time. You're only going to meet with 2 classes per day, and that way you get a chance to really spend some time with your fellow cadets, your teachers. The 4 of us will probably be popping in and saying hi and bye, and we're going to miss you and all that kind of stuff. And encouraging our seniors. I hope seniors can join us with this, because that's, I mean, what a way to, we really need to be together at the end of this school year. So we will publish that schedule. The teachers will publish and invite to those course classes the groups. Another thing I needed to touch on real quick, but first let me ask Ms. Cohen, do we have any other questions or shout-outs?
Yes, we do have a question about Drumline. So Ms. Cat is wondering how Drumline will work in this new environment.
Hey, that's an amazing question, because and that's something actually Major and I have been talking about, and we've been looking at what's going on with other drum lines and band. Remember, we have a band teacher, and we are very excited to have him join us. But what is that going to look like in an online environment? That's a great question. So there are actually some very good things, very amazing things happening with the performing arts. But this also brings up the question of, well, what about fencing class, right? How do you do that online? So it's really going to take a lot. I mean, it'd be a virtual reality type thing with things like that. And same with PE. Well, what is that going to be like online? I can tell you everything online is going to be much more student-centered and individual. There's going to be a lot more responsibility on the student. But I can tell you right now, that's going to set them up for success in the future. If you can show, your future employers, your future universities and colleges, the military, this is what I did. You will have a digital portfolio of everything you've done, because everything digitally is recorded, and it's really, you can really develop a powerful step to take you into the future in this sense. So let's look at the positive ways we can implement this and really move forward. I was looking online. my alma mater is Marshall University, and they have an amazing marching band. And that marching band has performed all over the world and at major events. And they're all, isolated right now. But I watched basically like a Google Meet. I don't remember what format was on, what the name of the virtual environment, but it was kind of like this, where you had a bunch of pictures and all the kids with different instruments, and that instructor actually had them synchronized to where they could perform a full song with all the different. There were 30 different instruments going on at the same time. It was truly amazing. So it is possible. It is possible. Right now, I know this year we didn't check out the drums your cadets to use for drumline. That may be a different aspect next year. Maybe we'll have some way where we can get very reduced cost instrument rentals for parents to have instruments at home for their students, and they can do these kinds of things. We have to think outside of the box to make that happen. Do any of you have any input you want to add to that? That's an excellent question, and I totally get that question. All right, anything else, Angela?
Again, the shout outs, the parents, students, they're all online and really missing SMA, really missing the environment, the culture, the admin, their teachers. So this is affecting everyone. And I do have Miss Heidi is just reminding everyone to stay positive, because the kids need to come back to that school. So
yes, that is so true. There are a few more things we need to touch, and before we get to our final thoughts and so forth, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit. We know that it's unlikely at this point that we are going to be back into a traditional setting at the beginning of the new year, although that's what we all hope for. But because of that, we are really going to need feedback from you, the parents and the cadets, as we continue playing summer to make next year the most amazing year, no matter what educational format is. So please keep looking at your Eagle News, keep looking at the Facebook page, the Instagram page, and if you're not getting the Eagle News, please go to the website and sign up for it. This is especially great parents. Please go sign up for that now, because there's so much information that comes out on there, and we will be sending out surveys and feedback forms about what was good, what wasn't good, what do we totally need to avoid, what do we need to improve on. We'll also be continuing with the live Coffees with the Colonels, give you updates throughout the summer. We will be sending emails and letters and so forth. So please, it's our focus as the A team to make sure that you are totally in the loop and have a voice. And that's what this is all about. This is why I do these things. And it's so important that we get that feedback from you. We had amazing survey feedback from for the seniors. The turnout on the survey and the feedback form was amazing. We need to keep that up, because that's how SMA is great. SMA is strong, but it's going to be better and stronger as we go, because we do it together. I would just like to kind of open this up, unless there's another question that's popped up. Oh, we've got something from Colonel Williams.
You may be going to address this right, but I just wanted to remind everybody out there that although we are not in our school building, next week is Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week. We have put out kind of a schedule of what themes for different days and how to approach that. And most people say teacher appreciation, but we say teacher and staff, because truly our school couldn't run without everybody. So don't just limit your shout outs and your appreciation to teachers, our staff members, and, support staff. Everyone is, especially Ms. Cohen, who's doing this now for us, and everyone. We have all of our support staff that makes the school run just like the teachers do. So teacher and staff appreciation next week. The schedule went out in Eagle Weekly. It'll be up on Facebook. It'll be on Instagram. Every day just kind of has a theme on how we would like for you all to appreciate them. So, check that out. Make sure that your people that you appreciate, shout outs. I got an email last night I still have to respond to, but from a parent just thanking me, but I was crying, so I didn't respond. Because I wanted to get myself together, and I promise I will not cry today. So just so you guys know, but just make sure that those people that you are appreciating, their extra efforts in this time, especially, just make sure that you even if it's just an email saying thank you, like we really do. That's all we want to hear is thank you, and we appreciate you. So gifts and all that are nice, but it's really just the words thank you. And we appreciate everything you're doing. So make sure that you and your students are kind of looped in on that, and that you, shout out those teachers to them. That means the most to them.
Yeah, so that schedule is already out there. I've seen this book. I believe it went out on the news. Please go check those out. Some really cool, fun things. Sunday is a Star Wars theme, so have some fun with that, right? This is a great way to have fun and show your appreciation, and think of everybody, okay? I know sometimes we forget about people like in that back office, like Captain Tina Hodges, who does everything to make sure testing is working. And oh my gosh, she's working so hard to make sure the AP tests come off well this year, and all the kids that are taking AP tests at home. Tests that are happening, but and they've really accommodated, and hopefully everything's going to be amazing. So you have your AP credits, you get that college credit, and I encourage you. Okay, for a last wrap up, I like to just give every one of our members a moment to just express themselves a little bit. And actually, you know what? And last time I forgot to, and I left out Angela Cohen. Miss Cohen, would you like to start us with and I'll wrap up appreciation or whatever it is you would like to mention.
Oh boy, this is an emotional morning already. You're gonna get me started, Colonel Fowler. I appreciate every single one of my coworkers and my admin team, and just couldn't be more proud of where I work and the family that I belong to. So, and I really do miss those kiddos. I miss them. I miss seeing the parents. So big shout out. I appreciate all of you, and I can't wait to get back to school.
All right, thank you, Angela. You already got our tear ducts flowing. Dr. Rodriguez.
Wow. Let me take a moment. I was just thinking about what I miss, and for some reason, that lunchtime came to my head, and how we walk around and we say hi to the cadets, and the cadets, they gravitate towards towards us, and they kind of like talk to us, and I remember, some of the cadets just come and they just want to tell me something to get me riled up so that I can speak in Spanish. I'm very passionate when I speak in Spanish. I just tell them, no excuse, no excusas, So I just felt that moment, like, hey, if you feel like you need a motivational speech from me, just let me know. I'll send it to you in English and Spanish, no problem. So I just felt like there's so many, that I miss that. I just, shout out to the Alice Club members doing all their work, and I got some surprises for them. We got the new logo. We're gonna have so many great things, and we do have seniors in the club that we want celebrate. And we just had an Alice Club member get selected for the Future Leaders Academy at Unidos Now. Cadet Enriquez, shout out for her. Very proud of that's and what they're doing. So I just feel like, hey, I'm here again. If you need help, if you need motivation, if you need somebody to talk to, contact us. Just call us, email us, text us. And if you we'll find you. We'll find you in Snap, find you in Instagram, we'll find you we'll find you. We got some connections. Just put it out. The 18 got some connections. So farewell, a great weekend.
All right, Colonel Williams.
I said I'm not going to cry, so I'm really, really going to try not to cry. But just to echo everyone else's, I appreciate everyone that I work with that's made this very unfair situation somewhat bearable. And I definitely, it has rejuvenated my love vacation. Those mornings when I've been like, I just can't do this today. Being home and not being able to do it today, I'm ready. I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to see the kids. I'm ready for a routine. I'm ready. And I think that everyone else is ready to see those kids. And the kids that didn't want to see me, they may even want to see me now. Even if I tell them to tuck their shirt in, or why are you late, or have you turned your stuff in, whatever it is. I appreciate everyone I work with. Our teachers, our staff are amazing. They've helped so much with the kids and with each other. And I just appreciate everyone. Make sure that you're doing something for yourself so that you don't get so that you keep your social emotional wellness, and take that time for yourself. Get the fresh air. Take a 10-minute walk. Whatever it is, even if you're make sure you're doing something for yourself so that you can actually focus on your work and be in tune and be with us. So ready for things to get back, ready back, and I appreciate you all. Please stay safe and well.
Thank you. Colonel Bowman, any last thoughts for us?
Well, I will get through this without crying because I've already shed a few tears. But, again, the word is courage, and we will keep the faith. We will be courageous moving forward, no matter what. Yes, we're ready to get back. We miss the cadets, but we are realistic as well. So we will be prepared for whatever comes before us. We will make decisions based on what is best for our cadets, their health and safety, our employees, their health and safety, and be smart and do your part. But I also want everyone to know out there that as the executive director, as I said, I've been with SMA for 10 years as a teacher, as an assistant head of school, as a head of school, and now as your executive director. I've never worked with such an amazing administrative team, whether it's at prep campus or at the high school campus. And I want everyone to know that when this came down, the pandemic, and we even had that first Monday where rumors were flying, that we had a student that came into contact with COVID-19. This team went to work, and I want everyone to know that you are in great hands. And I've never worked with such an amazing team in the 10 years that I've been there. And I thank you. I thank our teachers and our staff, our board of directors. Keep the faith, be courageous, and this too shall pass. We will be stronger when we come out of this. There's no doubt about it, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So my wrap thoughts, when I think about teacher appreciation, staff appreciation, I have something about every one of them, but we have over 80 members on our team, and I would need another 45 minutes. So I do just very quickly, I want to mention a couple of them, some that not necessarily, they're not all actual staff members, but they are there every day. Our PTCC director, Collins, who is there serving lunch every day, and Phyllis, who I don't think you can think of SMA without thinking of Phyllis Siskel. I miss her so much. She's just such a positive person, and everybody loves and misses her so much. I hope she gets to see this, and I hope I'm making her cry. Okay. I also very quickly, Captain Mitch, you know, she and I butt heads sometimes, especially when I demanded she had red tape and ruined the feng shui of her classroom. But oh my gosh, I'm missing her every morning. Her classroom was just right across the breezeway from the office, and I would see her every morning, and I miss her so much. And it's little things like that, walking through the breezeway first thing in the morning, and then seeing Captain Bland going from her convertible Chevy, you know, me from my convertible Mustang, which by the way is better than that Chevy, and into our respective places and saying good morning to each other. I miss that. I could just go on, but we're not going anywhere. We're still here. We are here for you, and we are going to make the very best of this with your help. And I'm just going to wrap it up right there. Remind you, please, you and your guests go on, create something to appreciate teachers throughout the week. If you need to, just go on and pick some random teachers off of our website, especially and members, you know, like Miss Elke in the counseling office, right? Don't forget about her. She needs some appreciation too. I know I certainly appreciate her. So I'm going to wrap this up because we have actually been over an hour. Thank you for joining us on the 6th episode of Coffee with the Colonel. Join us next week for another Coffee with the Colonel. This one won't be long, but join next week, and I will be discussing the question of what is servant leadership. Thank you. See you next week on Coffee with the Colonel. Are we good, man?
Okay, now we're good.
All right.